The entire text has concluded. Wishing you good health. Now, let's begin the main text. It's fine that Lu Ruyin doesn't like me. What matters is that I like her. Lu Ruyin and I grew up in the same villa area. It's not an exaggeration to say we are childhood friends. I've had a crush on her for a full 8 years. From when we were in diapers, climbing trees together, to her blossoming into the elegant school beauty. My gaze has never left her, but I have never been in her eyes. Her heart belongs to that impoverished boy who always pretends to be aloof, Gucheng. Everyone in the school knows that Lu Ruyin is especially different towards Gucheng. She would deliberately bring an extra breakfast for him. She would neatly copy her notes twice. Even if Gucheng casually mentioned a book he wanted to read, she would run around all the bookstores in Haiken. I once gathered the courage to confess to her. She shook her head without any hesitation. Jiboda, I only see you as an older brother. When I was 18, Lu's company suddenly faced a funding crisis. Several major clients withdrew their investments one after another. It seemed like it was about to collapse. In the whole of Haiken, the only ones who could raise a large sum of money in one go to save the day were us, the G family. The night before, I had eavesdropped outside my parents' study and heard them discussing it. They said they were already planning to invest, but they had to wait until the Lu family was at their wits' end to secure more cooperation benefits for their own company. The next day, I deliberately asked Lu Ruyin to meet me at the corner of the most secluded corridor in the teaching building. Very few people pass by here. I mimicked a scene from an anime, slamming my hand against the wall to trap her in my embrace. Looking closely at her, her eyes shone like polished obsidian. The faint scent of gardenias wafted into my nose. I couldn't help but stretch my neck to take a few more whiffs. I looked just like a villain, deeply obsessive to the core. Ruyin, I heard that your company is about to go under. I smiled and spoke with a hint of playful teasing in my voice. My family can help your uncle and aunt rescue the company. Do you need any help? Lu Ruyin was a bit uncomfortable with my sudden gesture. A faint blush appeared on her cheeks, but she still suppressed her emotions and asked gently, can you really get your uncle and aunt to help me? Of course, I nodded immediately. I leaned in closer. The distance between us was so close that we could feel each other's breath. She obviously tensed her body. Her little hands tightly clutched the edge of her shirt. Yet she didn't push me away. I know her too well. She is famously filial. She would never refuse for her parents' sake. But helping you can't be free. I stared at her reddened lips. The aggression in my gaze couldn't be hidden. This little thought is obvious to anyone who isn't foolish. Lu Ruyin fell silent for a few seconds. Her long eyelashes drooped down. When she lifted them again, her gaze suddenly became resolute. As long as you can save my company, I can be your girlfriend. I felt like my heart was blooming with joy. These words were said by her own mouth. I didn't force her. All right, this is what you said. As I said this, I leaned toward his lips. But wait. She suddenly extended her fair hand, blocking her lips with the back of her hand. She hurriedly added conditions. We can only date in private, and no one can know. Also, it should only last for a maximum of 3 months. We need to agree on an end date. I worry about being gossiped about, and even more so about Gucheng finding out. It felt like a bucket of cold water had been splashed over my heart. But this is my only chance to catch him. Don't say 3 months. Even if it's just 1 month, I'm willing. All right, 3 months it is. I won't tell anyone. I readily agreed. I leaned in to kiss him again. This time, Lu Ruyin didn't stop me. Her lips were soft like freshly made cotton candy, with a hint of sweetness that made me crave more. At first, he was still tense, his shoulders stiff, clearly resisting. But gradually, his body relaxed. He even slightly lifted his toes. When we parted, a long silver thread connected us. Lu Ruyin's face instantly turned crimson, like a ripe apple. She quickly raised her hand to wipe her gaze. Avoiding my eyes, too shy to look at me. Come to my house tonight to help me with tutoring. I smirked and said. He paused for a moment, then let out a sigh of relief. Thinking it was just a simple tutoring session, he quickly nodded. I had already been secretly observing Lu Ruyin. She seemed aloof in front of her classmates, but deep down she was quite docile. As long as you found the right approach, it was actually easy to handle. Back in the classroom, Lu Ruyin immediately reverted to her aloof princess persona, sitting right in the center of the classroom next to Gucheng, while I sat in the back row by the window, watching her from a distance. From that day on, he would often turn his head to glance at me, and whenever I looked up to meet his gaze, he would act like a startled deer, quickly turning away to pretend he was paying attention in class, his ears subtly turning red. Ruyin, why do you always space out? Gucheng nudged his arm. His tone was filled with concern. Is something bothering you? The crisis at the Lu family company. No one in the class knows. Even telling Gucheng wouldn't help. He's just a struggling student relying on scholarships. He has to scrape together his own tuition. How could he have the ability to help Lu Jia? There's no chance. I didn't sleep well last night. Lu Ruyan shook her delicate head. Her gaze dropped slightly. She buried all her worries deep inside. Gu Qing didn't think much of it. He just smiled and reminded her, "Don't forget our promise to take the entrance exam for a university in Shanghai together." Lu Ruyan paused for a moment. She took a gentle breath. She nodded, putting the past behind her, and said, "I haven't forgotten." Time quickly passed to the evening. I live in the same villa area as Lu Ruyan. Just as I got home and changed my shoes, the doorbell rang. Aunt Wang, the maid, led Lu Ruyan inside. She wore a clean white shirt, paired with a plaid, pleated skirt. She carried a pink backpack, and her slightly curled long hair fell over her shoulders. On her feet were red and white sneakers. She exuded the refined cleanliness of a young lady. Thinking about how I would soon be alone with her, I felt an overwhelming joy. I immediately got up from the sofa and intentionally dragged my tone while saying to Aunt Wang, "Aunt Wang, Lu Ruyan is here to help me with my studies." We went to my room. Then I walked up to Lu Ruyan and naturally took her fair hand in mine. Her hand was slightly cool. She trembled slightly but didn't pull away. As soon as I entered the room, I locked the door behind me to prevent being disturbed. Lu Ruyan looked around my room. She walked to the desk and took off her backpack. Then she pulled something out from inside, tightly gripping it in her hand. With her head down, she looked at me shyly, waiting for my next move. Family was so close yet so far. I couldn't help but step closer. I pointed at the hand she was hiding behind her back. "Show me what you have." Lu Ruyan's face instantly turned bright red. From her ears all the way to her neck, she slowly raised her hand, opening her palm in front of me. It was a small blue gift box with an obscure pattern printed on it. When opened, it turned out to be a box of tiny umbrellas. His head lowered even more. His long eyelashes covered his eyes. He didn't dare to meet my gaze. His face was as red as if he could bleed. I later found out. To buy this thing, she wandered around the supermarket for over half an hour. It took all her courage to bring it to the checkout. When paying, she didn't even dare to look at the cashier's face. I was suddenly startled. Actually, I just wanted to spend more time with her. At most, just a kiss. I really didn't expect it to escalate so quickly, but she took the initiative. The precautions were already in place. If I hesitated, it would make me seem less like a man, and I wouldn't want to be laughed at. Although I carry the title of the young master of the G family, there's no shortage of girls who are friendly to me. But in 18 years, I've never touched anyone. Still a virgin to this day. "You really think of everything, Lu Ruyan." I was just teasing him on purpose. The more she talked, the redder her face became. He forced himself to look up. There was a hint of stubbornness in his eyes. "You prepare this thing from now on. I can't get pregnant. She looks too cute like this." I pulled her into my arms, holding her tightly, feeling her soft body. The love in my heart surged, almost overflowing. It turns out Lu Ruyan really did think things through. In the end, I couldn't resist the temptation. I broke through the final barrier with him. After it was over, Lu Ruyan's face was flushed. She put on her clothes and took out a delicate notebook from her bag, seriously writing down today's date. Each stroke was particularly careful. I stood by, grinning at him. I couldn't help but keep smiling. My heart felt sweet and warm. After finishing her notes, she turned around, puffing her cheeks with a hint of complaint. She brought up the matter about helping his family's company. "Don't forget your promise to me." "Don't worry, I'll talk to my dad tomorrow. I promise to help your uncle and aunt's company get back on track." I patted my chest, seriously assuring her. In reality, there was no need for me to say anything. My parents were already planning to step in. Hearing my promise, Lu Ruyan sighed in relief. Then, she really took out her textbooks to help me with my studies. She explained the problems with great seriousness and a gentle voice. Whenever I encountered something I didn't understand, she would patiently explain it over and over again, until I finally understood. After about 2 hours, she finally packed her bag and hurriedly left. In the days that followed, we still pretended not to know each other during the day, acting like strangers at school. But at night or on weekends, Lu Ruyan would often come to my house under the pretense of extra lessons. On the 20th day of our secret relationship, my dad finally took action. He not only invested $50 million in the Lu family at once, but also signed several long-term cooperation contracts with them. Lu's company suddenly revived. The cooperation between the two companies actually had little to do with my agreement with Lu Ruyan. But in Lu Ruyan's eyes, this was partly his achievement and partly mine. He always believed that his efforts led to my support, which made my dad step in to save Lu's. For this, he even specially used his pocket money to buy me a gift to show his gratitude. That day during the lunch break, I saw a delicate gift box in his desk drawer. Gu Qing spotted it. His eyes lit up, thinking it was for him. His face was filled with joy. He even tried to bring up a topic. /, "What's that box in your drawer, Ruyan?" Lu Ruyin hurriedly pushed the box back inside. It's nothing, just some stationery I bought. But when school ended that afternoon, Lu Ruyin walked up to me holding that gift box. Her cheeks slightly flushed. G Boda, thank you for helping my uncle revive my company. This is a special gift I chose for you. I hope you like it. I felt a bit guilty inside. In truth, I didn't do much at all. Instead, I used this matter to gain some leverage over him. But looking into his sincere eyes, I still reached out to accept the gift box. When I opened it, I found a silver bracelet for guys inside. There was a small engraving on it. I pretended to be calm, even though I liked the scene in my heart. I glanced at the gift. I looked up and said, I accept the gift. But we agreed to be my girlfriend for 3 months. Not a day less. Lu Ruyin's face instantly flushed with embarrassment at my words. She nodded her pretty little head. I know, there's still 69 days left. I felt inexplicably annoyed. He actually remembered it so clearly. I wished I could change those 3 months to a lifetime right away. Once Lu Ruyin left, I immediately took the bracelet out of the gift box and put it on my wrist. The more I looked at it, the more I liked it. I excitedly spun around the room several times. Receiving a gift from a girl I like, that kind of happiness feels like winning a battle. I felt light all over. But this bracelet quickly caught Gu Cheng's attention. The next day during break, he suddenly rushed to my desk. He grabbed my wrist. His eyes were filled with questioning. G Boda, where did you get this bracelet? What's it to you? I pulled back slightly. I forced my way out of his grip and turned to leave, too lazy to deal with him. Gu Cheng wouldn't just stay in place. He kept mumbling. His eyes were full of disbelief. It must not be a gift from Lu Ruyin. She has always disliked you. How could she give you a gift? Gu Cheng had seen the gift box in Lu Ruyin's desk drawer. He remembered the pattern printed on the box. It was exactly the same as the bracelet I was wearing. At first, he thought it was a gift Lu Ruyin was preparing for himself. But after waiting for several days, it never came. Now he saw me wearing the same one. He clearly already guessed the truth. But because Lu Ruyin had clearly rejected G Boda before, he kept denying himself. It's just a coincidence, right? In the end, Gu Cheng forced himself to come to a conclusion. But the doubt in his eyes couldn't be erased. Back in the classroom, she couldn't help but mention this to Lu Ruyin. Ruyin, I saw G Boda wearing a bracelet today. It looks similar to the one you caught in the hole. Lu Ruyin's eyes flickered in panic, unable to admit it, and she secretly glanced back at me, her cheeks burning as she recalled the moments we spent together. She said irritably, how could that bracelet be the one I gave? It was bought for my family's Fu. A Fu is a guard dog raised by the Lu family. She's deliberately comparing me to a dog, venting her dissatisfaction. If I had heard that, he'll definitely drag him to a secluded place right then and there, and give him a good beating. But Gu Cheng believed his words wholeheartedly. He even sighed in relief. He didn't think much of it at all. How could a bracelet possibly fit a dog? Days went by as usual. During the day, Lu Ruyin gave all her tenderness to Gu Cheng, helping him organize his notes, bringing her breakfast, studying with her in the library until late at night. He completely devoted himself to me. He even acted as a substitute tutor to supervise my studies. I have a serious bias in my subjects. My math and physics scores have always been at the bottom. But ever since Lu Ruyin helped me with tutoring, I've found motivation in my studies. After this period of hard work, I somehow brought those 2 low-scoring subjects up to passing grades. 2 months have passed in the blink of an eye. The 3-month agreement between him and me. Only 1 month left. That day, I went to the bathroom. I accidentally overheard something outside the cubicle. The conversation between Gu Cheng and another boy. Gu Cheng, what is the relationship between you and Lu Ruyin? When will we be together? The whole school knows that you two have feelings for each other. The boy asked with a smile. Gu Cheng's response was filled with pride. There was a hint of subtle calculation in the tone. It's not yet, but it can't be avoided. You are really impressive. Even someone like G Boda, the wealthy young master. A girl who can't handle anything. But I am completely obedient to you. Hee hee, what does Keybert understand? Gu Cheng let out a cold laugh. The tone is full of disdain. The kind of wealthy girl, like chasing Lu Ruyin. Don't rush. Gradually understand his preferences. Once he graduates, he will naturally be unable to live without me. Right? G Boda is simply no match for you. He is nothing but wealthy. As the voices of the two gradually faded away, I just came out of the stall with a sullen face, fists tightly clenched. It is clear that Gu Cheng, this seemingly optimistic and positive impoverished student. In fact, it is not as simple as it seems. To put it bluntly, he is deliberately getting close to Lu Ruyin, not just those who conspire against him. He is scheming for the identity of the Lu family's heiress, wanting to take shortcuts to become a successful man and rise to the top in one step. Let me hand over Lu Ruyin to someone like this, dreaming that this is the last day. From now on, we're even. The 3-month agreement has arrived. Lu Ruyan put on her clothes. The tone is dundando, like declaring something trivial. There was even a hint of relief in his eyes. Yeah, I was lying on the bed on my side. I squinted at her. I nodded repeatedly, seemingly agreeing with what he said. But I had already planned my next move in my heart. I had secretly taken photos of us being intimate. Just the perfect ammo to continue pressuring him. This method might be unethical, but as long as it keeps him with me, I don't care. After that, I intentionally ignored him for several days. I didn't take the initiative to contact her or talk to him. That afternoon after lunch in the cafeteria, I took the chance when Lu Ruyan and Gu Cheng were leaving together and quickened my pace to catch up. I gently bumped into his shoulder. I cast a deep look at the world around me, with a threat in it that he could understand. Lu Ruyan caught that look, bit her lip, and turned to Gu Cheng, saying, "You go back to the classroom first. I'm just going to the restroom. I'll wait for you here," Gu Cheng said instinctively. The two of them were almost inseparable at school, like conjoined twins. Without needing Lu Ruyan to say it, I nodded decisively. I reached out and gently pushed her. "We girls take a long time in the restroom. You should head back to the classroom first. Don't waste your studying time." After seeing Gu Cheng off, Lu Ruyan quickly caught up with me, her face showing clear impatience. I brought her to a corner behind the classroom building, a place that no one else had ventured into. I stood up again and slapped my palm against the wall, pushing her against it. "What did you call me for?" This time, facing me so closely, Lu Ruyan was completely unfazed. She asked me in a cold tone. At first, there was no response. He stretched his neck and tried to kiss her. "No way." Lu Ruyan pushed me hard. She shoved me back a step. Her tone was a definitive rejection. "We're even now. From now on, you're not allowed to touch me again." Hee, I smiled. I leisurely took out my phone. I pulled up our intimate photo of us hugging. I held it in front of his eyes. "Look, Ruyan, what is this?" Her eyes widened instantly. Her face turned pale in an instant. She stepped back in panic. "Why, you shameless? How could you take a photo without permission?" I promptly put away my phone. I laughed lightly, looking at the ground. "You wouldn't want these photos seen by our classmates, right? Soon everyone will know you're Lu's campus beauty." While warmly inquiring about Gu Cheng's well-being, secretly being my girlfriend, what do you think will happen? I believe Lu Ruyan understands the deeper meaning behind the words. Actually, this isn't a real threat to him. It's purely a bluff. Even if Lu Ruyan firmly disagrees, I will never leak the photos. Her intimate moments are for my eyes only. But Lu Ruyan is inexperienced in the ways of the world and can't think of any other solution. Besides, she's quite proud and fears this kind of thing getting out the most. She feels helpless against me. She fell silent for a few seconds, biting her lip tightly, as if she had come to a realization, quietly closing her eyes, while simultaneously pouting her lips. She let out a soft hum. It seemed like she was trying hard to express her dissatisfaction. Lu Ruyan lowered her eyes. Her long eyelashes quivered gently. In the end, she resigned to her fate. All her strength seemed to have been drained away. She put on a demeanor of being at my mercy. Why would I be polite to him? I leaned in closer. The tip of my nose first brushed against the faint fragrance of gardenias in her hair. Then our lips intertwined. Once again, I was lost in his warm embrace. Even our breaths became heated. When we parted, her cheeks were flushed. Her delicate brows were tightly knitted, but she still opened her mouth to negotiate. Her voice carried a barely noticeable tremor. "Tell me, what do I have to do for you to delete that photo?" Seeing him obediently stepping into the cage, I sat up again. I suppressed a laugh in my throat. He deliberately pinched her soft chin with his fingers. On the surface, he pretended to be exceptionally calm. "Let's continue being my girlfriend for another 3 months." Lu Ruyan couldn't help but recall those moments before. The entanglements that made her blush and her heart race, yet felt powerless to escape. Her brows furrowed even tighter. She shook her head like a rattle. "No way, 3 months is too long. At most half a month." By the end, her voice had weakened, as if compromising with herself. "No," I immediately rejected that. His thumb gently stroked the soft flesh of her chin, deliberately teasing, 2 months can't be any less. 20 days really can't be any more." She bit her lip. Her eyes were slightly red. There was a hint of pleading in her tone. I looked at the redness in the corners of his eyes. My heart softened for a moment, but I still held my ground and slightly relented. "A month cannot be less than this. Otherwise, I'm fine. I promise you 1 month, just 1 month." Before I finished speaking, Lu Ruyan quickly interrupted me. "It's as if you're afraid I'll change my mind." He breathed a sigh of relief. I secretly felt happy in my heart. A month is enough time for me to wrap him up even tighter, make him unable to leave me again. Lu Ruyan had not realized this at that time. He has long fallen into my trap. "You can't get rid of me at all. The days to come." She is indeed the same as before, continue to come to my house under the pretext of tutoring. This has long been known by both sets of parents. The two families couldn't be happier. In the eyes of elders, we are the young master of the G family. One is the daughter of the Lu family, handsome boy and beautiful girl. They are a perfect golden couple. Everyone hopes we can be together soon. My mom especially likes Lu Ruyan. Every time she comes, she holds his hand and asks about his well-being. She even scolds me in front of her. Ruyan is a sincere and understanding child. If you dare to bully her, just wait and see how I'll deal with you. When Lu Ruyan heard this, her eyes immediately lit up. It was like she found a protector. She secretly pointed her lips at me. That look was both coy and proud, adorable. Privately, she grabbed my sleeve and complained softly. Auntie said you can't bully me. But you always act like a rogue towards me. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. I pulled her into my arms. Resting my chin on the top of her head, I spoke softly. Being irresponsible is just being a rogue. I've even thought of names for our kids. How can that be considered nonsense? He looked up at me angrily. His cheeks flushed bright red, like a little bunny that's all puffed up with anger. But he couldn't think of a rebuttal for a long time. He could only puff out his cheeks and glare. Seeing his expression made my heart soften. I pulled him over and kissed him. She struggled gently in my arms for a moment, but she didn't really push me away. Even her fingertips held a hint of indulgence. That night, Lu Ruyan sat at the desk. The desk lamp cast a long shadow of him. He was biting the pen. His eyes held a trace of resentment. Yet he still wrote down the date from his notebook. After counting, there were still 13 days left. That's just 2 weeks. It won't be long before we get through this. He whispered softly to his notebook. It was as if he was trying to encourage himself. Clearly, we fit together perfectly now. Yet he keeps hoping that once this deal is over, he can completely get rid of me, end this secret relationship. But he didn't realize that I had no intention of letting this deal come to an end. The last day of the month quickly arrived. He took the initiative to invite me to that secluded corner again, eager for a conclusion. It's the last day. You should delete the photos as we agreed, right? I nodded. Seriously, I took out my phone and unlocked the screen. In front of him, I tapped and deleted that photo. Lu Ruyan visibly sighed in relief. His shoulders slumped. A look of relief appeared on his face. But in the next second, I opened the album again. Pull out a new photo. That was taken last time when he was feeling a bit dazed. I secretly snapped it when his eyes were glistening. The angle is particularly seductive, like smoke. Let's talk about this one after deleting the other. Lu Ruyan's face instantly flushed red. Her fingers tightly clutched the hem of her clothes. The knuckles turned white. Her voice carried a hint of a sob. You shameless. He never expected I would have this trick up my sleeve. Deleted one, and there's still another. At this rate, if the second one is deleted, there might be a third, a fourth. It could go on forever. At this moment, he finally understood. He had long fallen into the trap I set. Tangled up by me, he could never escape. Sob. Tears fell unexpectedly. She plopped down on the ground. Her shoulders trembled gently, crying and whining. You just know how to bully me. What are you talking about, silly girl? I quickly squatted down and pulled her into my arms, gently patting her back with my palm. My voice was especially soft. How could I bear to bully you? I'm still worried about you. Then, can you let me go? Her voice carried a hint of tears. It sounded like she was pleading. Even the arms hugging me loosened a bit. But my response gave her no room to argue. I whispered close to her ear, no way. Those 2 short words made her cries louder. Tears fell down like pearls from a broken string. I didn't say anything else. I just leaned down and kissed her, wiping away the tears from the corner of her eyes, kissing her flushed lips. The salty tears seeped into my mouth, with a hint of grievance. After kissing for a while, her crying gradually softened. Her body slowly relaxed, leaning against me without struggling anymore. Even instinctively wrapped her arms around my neck. We embraced each other just like usual, feeling each other's warmth and heartbeat. Lu Ruyan closed her eyes, tears still hanging on her long eyelashes, seemingly thoroughly resigned. But her fingers quietly clutched my collar. Her jaw slowly tightened as if she wanted to bite me. But just as her teeth grazed my shoulder, she immediately loosened her grip, not even daring to apply much force. I understood in my heart. She was still like she was when she was a child. Even if I make him angry, he can't bear to truly hurt me. The more he does this, the more I want to hold on to him tightly, never letting him go again. I can't let that scumbag Guching succeed. After this, Lu Ruyan seems like a different person. He no longer insists that I delete photos. And when we're together, he doesn't sneakily calculate how many days are left in his notebook. I thought he had finally accepted his fate, but I didn't expect he was secretly holding back a lot of energy. During meals, he would secretly observe my uncle's phone password. When I'm in the shower or sleeping, he would quietly touch my phone, During our conversations, he would deliberately probe me, trying to find out where I stored the photos. He is waiting for an opportunity to grab my phone and delete all the photos, to completely free himself from me. After the college entrance examination results come out, Lu Ruyeo, and Gu Cheng all performed well in the exams. Unfortunately, the scores of Lu Ruyan and Gu Cheng, there is still a bit of distance from the university in Shanghai that they had agreed upon. I performed exceptionally well and got into the local maritime university with those two. The two families specifically organized a graduation party together. The event was exceptionally lively. At the banquet, my mom held Lu Ruyan's hand. Just hand her a bank card directly, laughing so hard that I can't close my mouth. Thanks to you for patiently guiding Boda during this time. You can take this money to buy something you like. Just a little gesture from the aunt. Later I found out that there was a full 2 million in that card. What kind of thank you fee is this? It is clearly a gift from my mom to my future daughter-in-law. It's about trying to please him in advance. I suddenly felt unbalanced inside. Although I am just pocket money in the hands of the young master of the G family. However, it has never exceeded 50,000. Lu Ruyan easily made 2 million. I secretly pulled her to the corner of the hallway when no one was watching. I reached out and snatched her bank card, stuffing it into my pocket. I'll keep this money safe for you, so you won't accidentally give it to someone else. I'm not saying this lightly. A few days ago, I heard that Gu Cheng wants to study abroad, but he still needs a lot more money for tuition. The money my mom gave me is for Lu Ruyan. She absolutely can't use it to support other guys. Besides, I still have leverage over her. She wouldn't dare to defy me. This is what Annie gave me. Well, why do you have to take it back? The bank card is already in my hands. Lu Ruyan's eyes turned red with anxiety. She stared at me with a wronged expression, like a little cat that just had its food stolen. Because I'm your man. I was deliberately teasing him. Besides, why would I treat you poorly? If you want to buy anything in the future, just tell me, and I'll get it for you. She pouted and turned her face away with a cold huff. Humph, besides bullying me, can't you do something else? I leaned in close to his ear, lowering my voice with a hint of playful laughter. Well, I plan to travel abroad before school starts. Lu Ruyan's ears perked up. A glimmer of obvious anticipation flashed in her eyes. Maybe she thinks that if I go abroad, she'll finally have some peace and quiet. No more being bothered by me. But then I changed my tone and added, "Don't worry, I'll definitely bring you along when I go on my trip. Happy, right?" The anticipation in his eyes shattered in an instant as he turned to glare at me. His tone was filled with helplessness. "Jiboda, what exactly do you like about me? Can I change?" "No." I reached out and pinched his cheek. His gaze was serious. "Unless you undergo gender reassignment surgery, I will always see you as a woman in this lifetime." He completely lost his temper. He hung his head and didn't speak for a long time. I know he originally planned a graduation trip with a few classmates. Gu Cheng was among those traveling with him. How could I possibly let those two travel alone together? As the graduation banquet was about to end, Gu Cheng showed up. He was holding a delicate gift box. He stood in front of Lu Ruyan. His face flushed red. His tone carried a hint of nervousness. "Ruyan, I haven't seen you for days. I feel empty inside now that graduation is here." He probably thought it was the right moment. His words hinted at a confession. He also handed over the gift box. "This is a graduation gift for you. I hope you like it." I found out later. Inside the gift box is a bracelet worth more than 10,000. Gukin bought it with his meager exam prize money. This time he really invested a lot. Thinking to myself that Lu Ruyan comes from a good family. Invest this 10,000 yuan. You will definitely be able to receive a return of hundreds or even thousands of times in the future. Lu Ruyan took the gift box but didn't open it. Just said a simple thank you, turning around and leaving. He is now filled with thoughts about it. The scene of me pulling him into the bathroom just now. My kiss was so strong that it left his lips red. It still aches faintly to this day. Gu Cheng obviously did not expect him to react this way. Stunned in place for half a day, unable to regain my senses. Wait for Lu Ruyan to walk far away. He hurriedly called out to stop him. "We agreed to go to Erhai Lake for a trip the day after tomorrow, didn't we? We'll definitely have a blast then." Lu Ruyan paused for a moment but didn't turn back. I had already secretly prepared her passport. "We're flying to the Maldives early the day after tomorrow." He dared not refuse, afraid that I might really send those photos out, so he wouldn't be able to hold his head high in front of relatives and friends. "Jiboda is my nemesis," he silently recited in his mind. He quietly quickened his pace. He didn't respond to Gu Cheng at all. Gu Cheng watched his back. His expression gradually darkened. His fists were tightly clenched. He probably also sensed that Lu Ruyan was drifting further away. Sure enough, on the day of the planned trip, Gu Cheng waited at the meeting point for a long time, only to receive news from other classmates. Lu Ruyin said she had a last-minute issue and wouldn't go. Not giving up, she called Lu Ruyin only to find her phone was off. My WeChat messages seemed to have vanished into thin air. Meanwhile, the sun in the Maldives is just right, and the sea breeze is gentle. Lu Ruyin is walking barefoot on the pristine beach. She's wearing a white dress, and she has on a pair of black sunglasses. The sea breeze is blowing her hair up. She looks particularly relaxed and carefree. I'm following behind her, wearing a floral shirt. I'm holding her flip-flops in my hand. I reach out my arm and drape it over her shoulder. Come on, give me a smile. Don't always have that serious face. You look like someone owes you money, humph. He huffed a little, but didn't push my hand away. Kicking at the shells on the beach with his toes, he took a few steps forward. Suddenly, he turned around and jumped into the azure sea. The seawater splashed all over my face. With a hint of mischief, I laughed and jumped in too, splashing water at him. He screamed and dodged away. But then she splashed water back at me. She laughed like a child. In the midst of our play, I grabbed her wrist. I pulled her into my embrace and leaned down to kiss her. At first, he wanted to bite me, but as we kissed, his body softened. He wrapped his arms around my neck, responding to my kiss. In the following month, we visited many places. We kissed under the Eiffel Tower in Paris, held hands while strolling in the Roman Square, enjoyed various snacks on the streets of Tokyo, and admired the scenery on a boat in Venice. At each destination, I would hold her hand, doing all the things couples do. I captured all the sweet moments with my camera, saving them in an album. We didn't return home until the start of school at High University. Gu Chung saw Lu Ruyin at the entrance of the teaching building. He looks like he has lost quite a bit of weight. His eyes are filled with exhaustion. In the past month, he sent countless messages to Lu Ruyin, but she hasn't replied to a single one. He must really be in a panic. Not long after, he made a big scene, holding a large bouquet of red roses. He stopped Lu Ruyin under the shade of a tree in front of the teaching building. He even specially invited a few close classmates to cheer him on. Before Lu Ruyin could say anything, he started singing first. You ask me how deep my love for you is, how much I really love you. He sang the classic tune, The Moon Represents My Heart, perfectly. You could tell he had practiced for a long time. The classmates around him started to cheer along, shouting, Be together, be together. Lu Ruyin stood there, her eyes flitting around in confusion, not knowing what to think. I strolled over slowly at this moment, waving my phone at him. My gaze carried a hint of warning, as if to say if you dare to accept the confession, I'll immediately make your photos go viral. Lu Ruyin's eyes immediately darted over, as if she recalled something terrifying. Her body instantly stiffened for a moment. Then she took a step back, softly apologizing to Gu Chung, saying she wasn't ready for a relationship yet. I watched her obediently comply, sneaking a grin inside. I quietly tucked my phone back into my pocket. In fact, I never intended to expose the photos. I was just using this to keep him in check. Seeing the confession fail, Gu Cheng's smile instantly froze. His eyes filled with disappointment, but he still forced a gentle facade, pretending it was nothing. I can wait for you. I'll wait until you're ready to date. Lu Ruyin didn't say anything more. She just bowed her head and silently turned to leave. Her footsteps were hurried, as if she were trying to escape. Later, I accidentally overheard Lu Ruyin talking to her roommate. Boys, once they get what they want, they stop cherishing it. After sleeping together, they'll quickly get bored. By then, you will be free. After hearing this, Lu Ruyin murmured softly. Once he gets bored, I'll finally be free. She probably thinks I only crave her body. Once I'm done playing, I'll naturally let him go. But she doesn't know my feelings for her have always been more than that. Our relationship lasted not only throughout college for 4 years, but after graduation, due to an accident, we were completely tied together. She got pregnant. When I first started college, I bought a condo near the school. Whenever there's no class, she would call Lu Ruyin over to stay. One night, she nestled in my arms. Her fingers gently traced my chest. Suddenly, she said, Boda, I think I might be falling for you. I was taken aback and felt a little skeptical. Just yesterday, I had pulled him into a corner of the library to kiss him. He had pushed me away with a reluctant look. So why did his attitude suddenly change today? I didn't say anything. I just quietly watched him, waiting for him to continue. Sure enough, in the following half-month, Lu Ruyin became particularly proactive. She would take the initiative to pull me into empty corners to be affectionate. She would message me to share daily funny stories. When we got back to the apartment, she would even serve me. She would even hug me from behind, whispering sweet nothings in my ear. I pretended to be moved by her. Gradually, I let my guard down. I even revealed my phone password under her casual questioning. Until one night, I woke up in the middle of the night and saw Lu Ruyin holding my phone, wearing an exceptionally smug smile, like a child who had stolen candy. Jiboda, you fell for it. I've deleted all our photos. She tossed the phone onto the bed, as if she had unloaded a heavy burden, her tone filled with relief. From now on, you can no longer threaten me. I looked at her excited expression, not angry, but rather finding it a bit cute. I got up and took her hand, leading her to the apartment, to the storage room she had never been to before. Thinking that this would be the end was too naive. I opened the storage room door, and the scene inside made Lu Ruyin freeze instantly. Her smile also turned to stone. The walls, cabinets, and even the table were filled with our photos. Photos taken by the beach in the Maldives. Photos of us kissing in Paris. And many intimate pictures he thought he had deleted long ago. Each one has been developed, displayed in exquisite frames, neatly arranged. Why did you develop so many photos? Lu Ruyan's voice trembled. She reached out to tear them down, but I stopped her, saying there's more. I smiled and said I have more stored in my U-disk and hard drive at home. Even more photos and videos. Can you really delete them? Lu Ruyan's face turned pale in an instant. She leaned against the wall, unable to speak for a long time. Her eyes filled with despair. Actually, I never told him. I had known for a long time that he was secretly checking my phone password. I just wanted to see how far he would go to get rid of me. But I didn't expect that he would rather use affection as a pretense to delete those photos. But that's okay. I have all the time in the world to let him understand slowly. My feelings for her have never been a threat, but a genuine wish to spend a lifetime with her. For the past 4 years, no one knew we were living together off campus. During the day, she's the school beauty surrounded by admirers, sometimes dining in the cafeteria with Gu Chung or studying in the library. But at night, she would take off her makeup, wearing my oversized pajamas, cuddling on the sofa with me to watch movies. She would even fight me for snacks and cause trouble while I was gaming, only to be pinned in my arms as punishment. She gradually got used to my presence, even developing many habits of being with me. That day, I, along with Lu Ruyan and Gu Chung, attended a social event organized by our department. As soon as Lu Ruyan entered the venue, she instinctively circled around several classmates and sat straight down next to me. Gu Chung immediately sat down on his other side. After Gu Chung took a seat, his gaze never left me and Lu Ruyan. He kept turning his head to observe. In my heart, I repeatedly told myself it wouldn't happen. Ruyan would never like Jiboda. The reason he came over just now should be because he thought we were from the same school. We're just acquaintances. Lu Ruyan made a very close girlfriend at school. Her name is Lin Wan Air, and this girl seems to have a little interest in me. Previously, when we bumped into each other at school, she even took the initiative to add me on her contact list. Sometimes, she would send me messages. At this moment, Lin Wan Air also came over, sitting on my other side. During the meal, I noticed Lu Ruyan constantly making eye contact with Lin Wan Air. The latter understood and kept urging me to drink, one cup after another. I suddenly understood. These two girls have definitely reached some kind of understanding. Lin Wanner really likes me, and she even told her feelings to Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan thinks she can use Lin Wanner to shake off my entanglement and fulfill her friend's wishes. So she encouraged Lin Wanner to confess to me. It was also his idea to persuade me to drink. He wanted Lin Wanner to take me back to the apartment when I'm drunk. Who knows, maybe something will happen between us under the influence. If that happens, I would have a new bed partner, and I'd abandon him as the old one. Then he could finally gain his freedom. Clearly, he secretly wishes for me and Lin Wanner to be together. But some of his subconscious actions contradict his true feelings. For example, when some food crumbs stuck to my lips, Lin Wanner, who had been so attentive, didn't notice at all. But Lu Ruyan noticed it immediately. He instinctively raised his hand to grab a tissue, gently wiping away the food crumbs from the corner of my mouth. The motion is natural and skilled. It's a habit we've developed over time being together. Under the puzzled and shocked gazes of Lin Wanner and Gu Chung, Lu Ruyan suddenly realizes that her actions have crossed a line. Her cheeks instantly turn red. If it weren't for genuine care, what girl would take the initiative to use a tissue to wipe crumbs off another guy's mouth? Haha, Lu Ruyan can't explain it all. She can only give a silly smile to Lin Wanner, hoping to brush this incident aside. But inside she is groaning. Why on earth do my hands and brain not listen to my commands and act on their own? She blames her earlier actions on her hands and brain being uncontrollable. I've long since gotten used to her caring and didn't find it inappropriate. Although Gu Chung feels something is off, he still speaks up to explain for Lu Ruyan. Jiboda, don't misunderstand. Ruyan was just acting out of a girl's instinct. Only then will I wipe the crumbs from the corner of your mouth. I turned my head to glance at Lu Ruyan upon hearing those words. No response was made. This matter was just brushed over. But I am close to Lu Ruyan. More details are continuously emerging. She would pick up the fatty meat she doesn't like to eat with chopsticks. Put it in my bowl. I occasionally pick up his cup to drink. He not only did not despise, I will still pick it up and continue drinking. Not at all concerned about indirect kissing. After all, we've done everything intimate together. Know each other inside out. Familiar with each other to the point of being inseparable. What is there to complain about? However, these details fell into the eyes of Gu Cheng and Lin Wanner. But it is particularly dazzling. It is important to know that Gu Cheng and Lu Ruyin have known each other for such a long time, have never enjoyed such treatment. We seem like a couple who have been together for a long time. Our movements are familiar and natural. Throughout the entire networking event, Gu Cheng's peripheral vision never left us. He kept observing us silently. The more he watched, the more alarmed he felt. The more he observed, the more disappointed he became. After one networking event, Gu Cheng's face turned ashen. He reached an unbelievable conclusion. Lu Ruyin likes me, but he didn't even realize it himself. Lin Wanner thought so too. In his view, Lu Ruyin loved me without knowing it. While encouraging himself to pursue me actively, he also enjoyed the exclusive ambiguity between us. She was merely a part of the emotional game between us. Is Lu Ruyin really unaware of her love? Absolutely not. If she truly liked me, she would never want Lin Wanner to get close to me. The subtle intimate gestures between her and me, our habits slowly developed through day-to-day interactions, deeply ingrained. He quickly realized that these actions were too intimate and that they had crossed a line, feeling secretly regretful. But he just couldn't change it. Ruyun must have been attracted to Jibo Da's wealth and influence. Gukin repeatedly compared the differences between me and him in his mind, feeling unconvinced, secretly determined to wait and see. I will definitely rise above and win your heart back. After that social gathering, Gukin stopped pursuing Lu Riyun and instead, like in high school, buried himself in studying hard, even finding time to take various certification exams, preparing to take the civil service exam after graduation. But rising above isn't that easy, and passing the civil service exam is even more difficult, especially for civil service positions in Haiken, where outstanding students from all over the country compete for spots. The outcome is predictable. Gu Cheng graduated from university but failed the entrance exam for 3 years. Throughout my entire university life, Lu Ruyin and I maintained a secret lover's relationship. As my desire to get closer to her increased, she began to doubt whether her initial thoughts were wrong. They say that once a guy gets a girl's body, he gets bored. But Ji Boda seems different. Having been my secret lover for 45 years, I not only didn't get bored, but I actually liked her more and more. After all, she has a gentle personality, a beautiful face, and a great figure. She occasionally speaks bluntly, but she has strong principles in her actions. A girl who is both intellectual and gentle, as well as beautiful, is the ideal type for all guys. Generally speaking, Lu Ruyin is very principled, and I might be the only one who ever broke her principles. Not only did she lose her principles, but her limits were also repeatedly crossed. So much so that when we're together, he doesn't put on airs at all. He does whatever he wants in the apartment, like putting his toes in my face on purpose to tease me. When he wants to fart, he even turns his butt towards me, letting out gas like it's a toxic bomb. And then he smiles at me happily. But usually after such things happen, he loses all his rights. He gets pinned down by me and has to obediently serve me for years. Our understanding extends to the point where, when he slightly lifts his butt, I already know how big of a fart he's about to let out. Just before we were about to graduate from university, Lu Ruyin encountered a huge disaster for her. She was pregnant. Lu Ruyin never messes around with other guys. So this child is definitely mine. That is beyond doubt. He held the hospital's test report and found me immediately. With a loud slap, she slammed the report against my chest. Her tone was filled with resentment. What's wrong with you? Can't you be a little more careful? She blames me for her unexpected pregnancy, but she doesn't know it was intentional. I've wanted to tie myself to her completely for a long time. A child is the best bond. If she's pregnant, then so be it. We'll just have to have the baby. I glanced at the examination report, my tone indifferent, deliberately pretending not to care. Lu Ruyin was both shy and angry in an instant. Her cheeks flushed bright red. She glared at me and questioned, "What kind of attitude is this? Isn't the uterus yours? Shouldn't it be cherished?" I shook my head. I reached out and pulled her closer, tightly embraced in my arms. He said with a serious tone, word by word, "Lu Ruyin, what I mean is let's get married." Upon hearing the word marriage, Lu Ruyin's eyes instantly went blank. She was completely stunned, staring at me in a daze, murmuring, "Marriage, marriage." Yes, I nodded solemnly. Let's get married. Let's have this child. I will be responsible for both of you for life. Lu Ruyan originally came to demand an explanation from me. Never in her wildest dreams did she expect my response would be to propose marriage. Marriage was a concept he had never considered. It was so sudden that it left him completely at a loss. Nini, give me some time to think. He had adapted to my assertiveness. He didn't directly refuse. He just ran away in a fluster, like a startled little deer. But I didn't give him any time to think. That night, I told my parents about it. They were so happy they couldn't stop smiling. Right away, they said they wanted to go propose to the Lu family. When I went with my parents to meet the Lu family, Lu Ruyan was also there. She sat there looking like she was lost. Her eyes were blank, and she just stared. I stood up directly and declared in front of everyone, "The child is mine, and I must take responsibility. I want to marry Ruyan." I urgently wanted a title for our relationship, and I also wanted to give her and the child a proper name. When Lu Fu saw my attitude, he slapped the table and said cheerfully, "All right, you young man dare to take responsibility. I like that. This is me making a decision for Yin Yin. Let's pick a good date for you two to get married soon." My parents naturally had no objections. They had already considered Lu Ruyan as their future daughter-in-law. Until the wedding date was set, Lu Ruyan just realized it. She softly pouted like she was trying to charm her dad. "Dad, I'm not ready yet. What's there to prepare for?" Lu Fu shrugged and glanced at me. He said firmly, "Xiaoda has grown up with you since childhood. You know him well, and he has a good character. Marrying him is definitely a good choice." Lu Ruyan is famously filial. She isn't good at opposing her parents' decisions. She can only obediently comply. A month later, she looked hesitant. Reluctantly, she sat in the wedding car and went with me to the wedding venue. That day, Gu Cheng and Lin Wanair also came. Lin Wanair already had a boyfriend. Her little crush on me was long gone. She was just there to join the fun. Gu Cheng was still busy preparing for the civil service exam. He anticipated that Lu Ruyan would end up with me, but I didn't expect to get married so quickly. Like many of her classmates, they all thought my union with Lu Ruyan was just a simple marriage between wealthy families. At the wedding banquet, the table of classmates was particularly lively. A group reminisced about the past with a sense of nostalgia. Wow, I really didn't expect our school beauty Lu would end up marrying Ji Boda. Yeah, I remember Lu Ruyan was always close to Gu Cheng. She even explicitly rejected Ji Boda's confession. But in the end, she still married Ji Boda. It seems that having matching social status is important after all. It's definitely a marriage of convenience for the cooperation between their two companies. At this point, a classmate looked at Gu Cheng and asked with a smile, "Gu Cheng, you are so familiar with Lu. Do you know why she married Ji Boda?" No, it's not what we guessed. It's a business marriage between two powerful families." Of course, Gu Cheng looked heartbroken. He stared intently at us exchanging rings on the stage, with a look that said he knew all the details. He seriously said that Lu Ruyan was only temporarily marrying Ji Boda. They had no emotional foundation. They would definitely break up in the future. He didn't say the last part out loud, but deep down he was convinced that Lu Ruyan wouldn't be happy in the future. Eventually, she would return to my side. In fact, even Lu Ruyan herself didn't have much faith in this marriage. After all this time we've been through together, I had almost forced it all to happen. She had always been resistant in her heart. But life is unpredictable. No one expected that we would live so happily in the days to come. 8 months flew by after the wedding. Our first child, Lu Ruyan and I, was born. He was a chubby little boy. His features resembled mine. He was extremely cute. In the days that followed, we continued to live like this. Sometimes we argue over trivial matters. Life may not be very harmonious, but it's filled with the warmth of everyday life. Years later, we had a second child, a beautiful little girl, completing the character for good. In the blink of an eye, another decade passed. Not only did we not get divorced, but Lu Ruyan gradually changed her mind during our daily interactions. She became more and more dependent on me, completely immersed in our marital relationship. She never mentioned wanting to break free from me again. The so-called commercial marriage in Gu Cheng's words, and his belief that Lu Ruyan would leave me sooner or later, never came to pass. Fast forward over a decade, Lu Ruyan and I took our 2 children to a high school reunion. We unexpectedly ran into Gu Cheng. He looked considerably older than his actual age, with some gray in his hair. Wearing a faded shirt, he looked weary. Seeing our family of 4 come and go together, so close and intimate, his expression became even more unpleasant. He only had 2 drinks at the table. Then he hurriedly left. He didn't even say goodbye. Later, a classmate mentioned Gu Cheng's recent situation to us. They said he has already been married 3 times. He managed to become a civil servant in a small county after hard work. But after working for over a decade, nothing much happened. There was no progress. That's how reality is. For most people, simply becoming a civil servant is already quite good. In novels, the stories of sudden success and dramatic comebacks only happen to a very few individuals. Gu Cheng is not the male lead of a novel. Under the passage of time, he is just an ordinary stone, nothing more ordinary. Yet he still doesn't give up. He always thinks about marrying a wealthy woman, to take shortcuts to change his fate. Rich people are not fools. Either they see through her schemes, or they discover her true colors just days after getting married. They decisively divorce and openly state she wants everything. Her intentions are written all over her face. Now Gu Cheng's reputation in the area he lives in is long ruined. No girl wants to marry him. His last divorce was even more disastrous. He was caught cheating by his wife on the spot. His ex-wife's family couldn't stand it and beat her up badly. They even reported the incident to his workplace. Now he's lost the civil service job he worked so hard to get. He can only deliver takeout to make ends meet, while searching for a new job everywhere. His life is in complete disarray. After hearing what his classmates said, Lu Ruyin quietly turned her head, slipped her hand into mine, and held it tightly. Her eyes were filled with unbreakable tenderness and affection. They say distance tests a horse's strength, and time reveals a person's heart. At this moment, Lu Ruyin feels a deep sense of gratitude. Grateful for the coercion I once exerted. Grateful for that love that came with a bit of force. It is precisely because of these things that he managed to avoid falling into the pit of meeting the wrong person. Otherwise, he would likely have been entangled with Gu Cheng. In the end, he would have become just another unfortunate ex-wife in his 3 failed marriages. A forced fruit is indeed not sweet, but as long as I am willing, I can gradually dip it in sugar, and one day, I can turn life into honey.